Some of the best learning that you can do about privacy and understanding the types of things that you need to be concerned about in your business is by looking at some of the enforcement actions. And when you look at HIPAA enforcement actions, those are executed by the Office for Civil Rights. Privacy is a civil rights issue. The patient has rights. It's the patient's information. It's not the medical provider's information. It's not the business associate's information. It belongs to the patient. And we have to take that seriously, and we have to handle their personal information in a way that complies with the HIPAA privacy rule. And so I want to share 4 different enforcement actions and identify the lesson learned from each one of them. In January of 2018, the Office for Civil Rights settled with Fresenius Medical Care North America for the fine of $3.5 million because this provider failed to conduct an accurate and thorough risk analysis. Understanding your privacy obligations and protecting patient information and handling it properly, it begins with risk analysis. You have to understand where that data is and what the risks are to that data, and one of the risks is that our employees will mishandle it. And if you haven't done that, then you have not met your obligation. They had also failed to implement policies and procedures to communicate to their organization how to properly handle patient information, and they had not implemented a mechanism to encrypt and decrypt protected healthcare information in an appropriate manner. Another enforcement action was in September of 2018, and this was a $999,000 fine. You just kind of wonder how they arrived at that. Somebody did not want it to be $1 million, but it was a $999,000 settlement with Boston Medical Center, Brigham and Women's Hospital, and Massachusetts General Hospital, who had invited a film crew into the hospital for an ABC television network documentary. And they went through the hospital, they filmed the documentary, but they had not obtained patient consent to be recorded during this. And so you saw patients in the documentary, and that is where the fine came from. And so they didn't think about the consent of the patient who was in some of the shots. Advanced Care Hospitalists in September of 2018, they settled with the OCR for $500,000, and they had failed to keep patient information private on a medical billing services website. If you have a patient portal, these are, every provider that I go to has a patient portal, and they give you credentials to log in. And if you are using that type of service and there are flaws in that and you're not adequately protecting unauthorized access to that information that's available through a website like that, this is what happened in this case, and they had not kept that information private. They had not signed a business associate agreement with the third party that was providing this service to them. So as you're using vendors and you're sharing data with the people who are hosting your site and providing the application for your patient portal, if you don't have a business associate agreement with them, then you're failing in your HIPAA obligations to do that. And they also said in this enforcement action that they had failed to conduct a risk analysis or implement security measures or other written HIPAA policies and procedures. And so these are things that you have to do when you start doing new things and providing different services to your patients. And then finally, in October of 2018, Allergy Associates. It looks like a smaller type of provider was, they settled for $125,000. So this is the smallest fine of the ones that we saw. But a patient contacted the local television station about a dispute, and during an interview with the television reporter, the doctor inadvertently disclosed some patient PHI to the reporter. And so you want your employees and your staff, your doctors, to understand that situations like that are a disclosure as well. So take a look at some of the enforcement actions out there and see what you can learn from it and how you can strengthen your own privacy practices.